Welcome back. If you watched the closing ceremonies of the Olympics in Rio, you can't have missed the appearance of Japan's Prime Minister dressed up as Super Mario. This was a big deal. It was probably one of the highlights of the Japanese presence in the Olympics. You watched it too. What was your thoughts?
I thought it was wonderful. I was really surprised, as was everyone else. We've always considered Abe to be a rather dull,
somewhat square.
And I think that that's exactly what he is like. But clearly there has been this suggestion to try and improve his image, and it's an excellent suggestion. How can you portray this individual as being a dangerous would-be militarist, which of course is what China tries to do with Abe? How can you do that with Super Mario?
Right.
So I think it was a wonderful way of softening his image and a real success.
It really was wonderful, and it kind of came out of left field, and I think that's one of the things that was so dramatic about it, is that the graphics, I think, were very well done, and just the performance, it just really sent a really good signal. I don't know if it was teeing up this idea that maybe characters will be used very, very strongly in the Tokyo Olympics, but it does kind of suggest that tone.
Well, they've still got a lot of time to decide on it, but clearly it's a very good start for the Tokyo Olympics after a lot of really bad news. Of course, the scandal over the potential plagiarism with the logo, all of the difficulties with the stadium. And now if people can forget about that, instead focus on what promises to be a very exciting Olympics, then that can obviously be very good.
Well, I'd take it a step further. I would say that this is the only successful thing that the Japanese have done with regard to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. I mean, this one went off very well. It sang, it resonates. Even a week later, we're still talking about it.
Yeah. It was absolutely successful. I've been hearing from people in the UK, in Russia, saying, wow, I mean, this looks really exciting. And also people pointing out that most leaders around the world wouldn't do this. I mean, can you imagine Obama dressing up as a cartoon character?
That's right.
Or Angela Merkel? It doesn't really fit your expectations with Abe, as I said, but he did it, and all credit to him.
Right. Well, the credit isn't all to him. Apparently, former Prime Minister Mori came up with the idea.
Well, that's the story. It seems a little bit difficult to believe. This has all of the markings of being a suggestion from a PR company, but they've suggested that Prime Minister Mori was the one behind it. So who knows?
Why would they do that? I mean, who is trying to support his image as the kingpin of the Olympics? I mean, maybe that's part of it, but it just doesn't ring true to me.
Well, he's one of the main figures who is tasked with the organization of the Olympics. And after all of the difficulties they've had, it's good if some positive reaction is directed towards the organizers of this. After all, it doesn't really help the Japanese government if the credit goes to a PR company. It's much
absolutely.
better if they can take the credit.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Who, I mean, you don't pay your PR agency to do that.
Yeah.
And maybe since he's kind of at the pinnacle of how things are filtering out, and maybe he feels a little bit insecure about his stodgy appearance and his kind of really old boy image, that yes, he is cool too, and he can do crossplay, and he's with it.
It would have been fascinating to see the meeting to be a fly on the wall when this idea was pitched to Abe, where they suggested, Prime Minister, if you wouldn't mind dressing up as Super Mario, we would think that it would be a good idea. Perhaps he embraced it straight away, or perhaps slightly more likely, he required a bit of persuasion.
Okay, well, probably in the future, in the near-term future, the true story will come out. We're going to be following this and watching it. And if that story does come out, we capture that fly on the wall, we'll report it to you. Please stay tuned.